Is this $25,000 Mickey a good deal? Of course it's not, but let's take a look and see how other cards fare and why this card might actually be worth $25,000. In other games, cards easily go for $25,000. Look at Magic. They have the Black Lotus. The Black Lotus is famous in trading card games. A mint condition Black Lotus sold on eBay in January of 2021. This Black Lotus was autographed with the final price of $511,100, making this Black Lotus Alpha card one of the most expensive Magic the Gathering cards ever. In 2021, an autographed Black Lotus for Magic the Gathering from the Alpha set was sold for $511,100. That makes it one of the most expensive Magic the Gathering cards ever. I mean, a non-autographed Black Lotus is only worth $50,000. So obviously, the Black Lotus was a known card that's insane, but nowhere near as insane as some of these other cards I'm going to talk about in a second. Moving away from Magic and into Pokemon, there's a card that is really famous. That's the first edition Shadowless Charizard. This holographic card sold for $369,000 recently. But why is it so rare? Well, it's shadowless, and that's kind of strange for a fire-breathing dragon. They never meant for the card to have no shadow. They actually caught that later after the first batch of cards had went out, and then they fixed it. Later, when you bought first edition cards, they came with a shadow. So there's a small number of these cards out there that are shadowless, but that's what causes the rarity. The next Pokemon card is rare for a completely different reason. Pikachu Illustrator card is actually rare because it was created for an art contest. There were only 34 given out, and now they're selling for $900,000. They're extremely rare, and it's very hard to get your hands on one. And while $900,000 is a lot of money, it's nowhere near as expensive as this Yu-Gi-Oh card we're going to talk about. There's a one-of-a-kind stainless steel exclusive card in the Yu-Gi-Oh set. It was given out in the first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. It's the Tournament Black Luster. The Tournament Black Luster was sold in 2013 for $2 million. As far as I know, there's only one set of these that went out in that first tournament. So what did we learn? Adults spend too much money on cardboard. But what we really learned is rarity is what drives the price. It's either a limited release or it's a mistake. So now looking at this Mickey card, what makes it so valuable? $25,000 for a card that's not even released yet seems like a big deal. You can't even play the game until the fall of 2023. Well, this card was actually released in D23 in 2022. What's D23 and why was it held in 2022, you ask? Well, D23 is actually the Disney fan club. D23 actually has nothing to do with the year 2023. It's actually 1923 when Disney's company was founded. Why this event happened in 2022 instead of 2023 is actually because the fan club meets every 2 years. So on even number years, it's when the Disney fan club meets. So this conference was set. They were trying to build some hype for Lorcana, and then they started giving away cards. And there they only gave around 300 sets of these cards that you could buy for $50. You could get this set of 6 cards, and then as a bonus, they'd give you this Brave Little Tailor Mickey. It's only estimated that they had about 300 of these out there. I haven't seen a very official number, but that's the number that Twitter's given a couple times. I'm not a super big fan of giving away a card before anyone can play with them or open packs, but, maybe scalpers were really excited about that. There's 300 of these. Why is this one already worth $25,000? It's probably because it's graded at a PSA 10, which, if you don't know anything about grading, that means it's a perfect card. That means it's centered, it has no marks, no bends, no white edges, and some of these have already been graded. This one's the only 10 I've seen online. There's others that are 9s, 7s, and 8s, but that means that you've got 300 cards, and you've only got one PSA graded 10 that I've seen. So that's really going to drive the price up, especially over time. But still, is Mickey worth $25,000? I mean, maybe if the game is around for 23 years or 24 years like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic, this card could actually be worth $25,000. In fact, it probably could be worth hundreds or maybe $1 million. But there's a lot of other ways you can spend $25,000 to make a profit in the next 20 years. If you like this video, you should check out my video on what characters Disney needs to put on the cards. Some of these characters adults remember, but kids have no idea who they are.